Welcome to Whispered Words and Chapter of Love, your shortcut to the world of books. In just a few minutes, we'll take you on a journey through the pages of your favorite stories. Today I am covering The Rosie Project by Graeme Simsion. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so you never miss a book summary. Let's dive in. In Chapter 1 of The Rosie Project by Graeme Simsion, the author introduces us to the main character and protagonist, Don Tillman. Don is a brilliant and highly organized genetics professor who lives in New York City. He is known for his logical and methodical approach to life, and he is highly successful in his academic career. The chapter is titled The Father Project, and it sets the stage for the central premise of the novel. Don's life is characterized by routines and predictability, but he realizes that he lacks a life partner. In an attempt to find a suitable wife, he decides to embark on what he calls the Wife Project. The Wife Project involves creating a detailed and exhaustive questionnaire that he believes will help him identify the perfect life partner based on scientific criteria. Don's approach to finding a wife is characterized by his unique personality traits and quirks. He is socially awkward and often oblivious to social cues, which makes his quest for love both humorous and endearing. He believes that by approaching the search for a partner with the same systematic and analytical mindset he uses in his work, he can find the ideal match. Chapter 1 establishes Don's character and the central conflict of the novel, his unconventional quest to find a wife through scientific means. It also sets the tone for the humor and charm that are characteristic of the book as we follow Don on his journey to understand love and relationships from a scientific perspective. In Chapter 2, we delve further into the life and quirks of the protagonist, Don Tillman. This chapter is titled The Standardized Meal System. In this chapter, Don introduces the reader to his highly organized and systematic approach to nutrition and daily routines. He has a set schedule for his meals, which consists of a rotating menu of carefully planned, nutritious items. Don follows this strict regimen to maintain maximum health and efficiency in his daily life. Don's life is characterized by precision and order. He allocates specific times for different activities and adheres to a highly structured lifestyle. This chapter highlights his meticulous and logical nature, emphasizing his unique personality and the challenges he faces in navigating the social world. Additionally, in Chapter 2, we see how Don's world begins to change as he encounters Rosie, a free-spirited bartender who disrupts his carefully planned routines. Rosie's spontaneity and unpredictability stand in stark contrast to Don's regimented existence, setting the stage for the development of their relationship and the overarching plot of the novel. This chapter serves as an important starting point for the story, showing the clash of Don's ordered life with the chaos and unpredictability that Rosie brings. It sets the tone for the humor and character development that will unfold throughout the book as Don embarks on the Wife Project and forms a connection with Rosie. In Chapter 3, the story takes a significant turn as Don Tillman, the main character and a genetics professor with a systematic approach to life, attends a lecture by Rosie Jarman, a woman who will become a central figure in his life. During the lecture, Rosie introduces her quest to find her biological father, and she discusses the challenges she faces in identifying him due to a lack of genetic information. This topic captures Don's interest because he's a geneticist, and he sees an opportunity to apply his expertise to help Rosie with her search. Don, who had been primarily focused on his wife project to find a suitable life partner through a detailed questionnaire and scientific analysis, becomes intrigued by Rosie's mission. He sees this as a chance to embark on a new project, which he dubs the Father Project, designed to assist Rosie in her quest to uncover her biological father's identity. Chapter 3 marks the beginning of Don and Rosie's collaboration and the development of their unique relationship. Don's rational and systematic thinking contrasts with Rosie's spontaneity and unconventional approach to life. Their partnership in the Father Project sets the stage for a series of humorous and poignant moments throughout the novel as they work together to solve the mystery of Rosie's paternity. This chapter introduces a new dynamic into Don's life and sets the tone for the quirky and endearing journey that unfolds in the rest of the book. In Chapter 4, the story continues to revolve around Don Tillman's quest to find a suitable life partner through his Wife Project. This chapter is significant in the development of the plot as it introduces a key element of the novel, Don's unconventional and highly systematic approach to dating. In this chapter, Don creates a detailed questionnaire, referred to as the Perfect Partner Questionnaire, as part of his scientific approach to identifying a compatible partner. The questionnaire is an extensive document that includes a wide range of questions designed to filter out undesirable traits and qualities in potential partners. Don believes that by using this questionnaire, he can efficiently and objectively find the perfect match. The questions in the questionnaire cover a variety of topics, from food preferences and habits to personal interests and lifestyle choices. It reflects Don's analytical and logical thinking, which is a central aspect of his character throughout the novel. Don takes this project very seriously and believes that answering the questionnaire honestly is the first step to a successful and harmonious relationship. Chapter 4 also provides insight into Don's personality and his struggles with social interactions. His approach to dating is comically rigid and out of touch with the unpredictability and emotional nuances of real-life relationships, which sets the stage for the humor and charm of the story. Don's creation of the questionnaire is a pivotal moment in the novel, as it not only highlights his unique character but also sets the stage for his eventual encounter with Rosie, a free-spirited and unconventional character who will challenge and disrupt his carefully planned life. This chapter sets the tone for the unconventional and heartwarming love story that unfolds throughout the rest of the book. Chapter 5 is a pivotal chapter in the novel where Don Tillman, the main character, and Rosie embark on a practice date as part of Don's wife project. Here's a more detailed explanation of this chapter. In Chapter 5, Don, a highly systematic and socially awkward genetics professor, is continuing his quest to find a suitable life partner through his wife project. To identify a compatible partner, Don has developed a highly detailed questionnaire, which he believes will help him filter out unsuitable candidates. However, he is beginning to question the effectiveness of his scientific approach to dating. Don meets Rosie, a fiery and unconventional bartender, who has been helping him with the project by distributing the questionnaire to potential candidates. Rosie is a stark contrast to Don's orderly and structured life. She is impulsive, emotional, and doesn't fit the criteria of the perfect partner as defined by Don's questionnaire. Yet, she intrigues him and challenges his rigid worldview. In this chapter, Rosie suggests going on a practice date to test Don's methodology. Don agrees, and they plan to meet at a restaurant. Don meticulously prepares for the date, adhering to his standardized meal system, which includes ordering the same meal and using a stopwatch to measure the time spent eating. However, despite his careful planning, the date does not go as he expected. During the practice date, several comical and awkward situations arise. Don's attempt to adhere to his routines and questionnaire leads to misunderstandings and uncomfortable moments. Rosie, on the other hand, is spontaneous and unafraid to express her opinions, which clashes with Don's systematic approach. This chapter also lays the foundation for the deepening of the relationship between Don and Rosie, as they start to get to know each other better, despite their differences. It sets the stage for the development of their unique and unconventional love story throughout the novel. In Chapter 6, the story continues to follow the quirky and methodical protagonist, Don Tillman, as he assists Rosie in her quest to find her biological father. In this chapter, several key events take place. Don and Rosie embark on a mission to collect DNA samples from potential candidates who might be Rosie's biological father. They do this by discreetly obtaining items like used drinking glasses, cigarette butts, and toothbrushes from these individuals. Don's scientific approach is evident as he carefully collects and labels the samples. As they attempt to collect the DNA samples, they encounter various challenges and obstacles. Some of the potential candidates are uncooperative or untraceable, making the task more complicated and frustrating. This part of the chapter highlights the difficulties they face in their search. Throughout their mission, Don and Rosie spend time together, facing these challenges as a team. This shared adventure begins to bring them closer, despite their differences and Don's initial reservations about Rosie. Their interactions in this chapter help to develop their relationship beyond the initial wife project and father project. Chapter 6 is significant in the novel as it marks a turning point in Don and Rosie's relationship. Their joint pursuit of Rosie's biological father and the shared challenges they encounter start to break down the walls that Don has built around himself. It also showcases Don's dedication to helping Rosie and his willingness to step out of his comfort zone. The chapter combines elements of humor, adventure, and character development, making it an important part of the overall story. In Chapter 7 is a pivotal chapter in the story as it focuses on the progress of Don and Rosie's search for Rosie's biological father, which is referred to as the Father Project. In this chapter, the following events and developments take place. Don and Rosie are determined to find Rosie's biological father. They've been gathering information and leads about potential candidates who could be her father based on her mother's records and her own birth date. Don and Rosie start reaching out to the possible candidates, conducting interviews and collecting DNA samples. This part of the story highlights their determination and commitment to the project. Throughout the chapter, the reader witnesses the challenges and obstacles that arise during the search, such as candidates who are unwilling to cooperate, others who don't match genetically, and the emotional toll the process takes on Rosie. As they delve deeper into their investigation, they uncover unexpected and sometimes uncomfortable truths about Rosie's mother's past, which further complicates the search for Rosie's father. This chapter advances the central plot of the novel, as Don and Rosie's relationship evolves, and they work together to solve the mystery of Rosie's biological father. It's a critical moment in their partnership and sets the stage for more significant developments and revelations in the story as they get closer to finding the truth about Rosie's family history. In Chapter 8 of the Rosie Project is a pivotal moment in the story as it marks a significant turning point in Don and Rosie's search for Rosie's biological father. In this chapter, the characters finally discover the identity of Rosie's biological father, which has been a central goal of their father project throughout the novel. Here's a more detailed explanation of what happens in this chapter. Don and Rosie have been diligently searching for potential candidates who could be Rosie's biological father. After following various leads and conducting genetic tests, they eventually come across a man who fits the genetic profile. This man is revealed to be Rosie's biological father. The chapter reveals the identity of Rosie's biological father, and this revelation has profound implications for both Rosie and Don. The identity of the father is a crucial piece of Rosie's personal history and has the potential to bring her closure regarding her family background. The revelation of Rosie's biological father's identity elicits a range of emotions. Rosie is likely to experience a mix of excitement, relief, and perhaps some apprehension about what this discovery means for her relationship with her biological family. Don, on the other hand, may be dealing with a combination of relief and a sense of accomplishment for successfully completing the father project. This chapter serves to advance the plot by resolving one of the major storylines of the novel. It also has the potential to change the dynamics between the characters, especially between Don and Rosie. It's a moment of closure and transition for their collaborative efforts. Overall, Chapter 8 is a significant and emotional chapter in the Rosie project as it brings the central quest of the novel to a pivotal juncture. It not only advances the story but also delves into the emotional impact of the characters' discoveries and sets the stage for further developments in their relationship and personal journeys. In Chapter 9, the author delves into the background and personal history of the protagonist, Don Tillman. This chapter is a pivotal point in the book because it offers readers a deeper understanding of Don's character and the reasons behind his idiosyncrasies. In this chapter, the author explores the topic of genetics, particularly the genetics of autism. Don, a genetics professor, shares his own genetic makeup and familial history. He reveals that he has a brother, who is also on the autism spectrum, and they both inherited certain traits from their father. This familial history sheds light on Don's own struggles with social interactions, his rigid routines, and his difficulty in understanding and expressing emotions. Chapter 9 provides essential context for understanding Don's behavior and thought processes throughout the story. It helps readers empathize with his challenges in navigating the social world and showcases how his scientific approach to life is, in part, a coping mechanism for his difficulties. This chapter also serves to deepen the connection between Don and Rosie. As Rosie learns more about Don's family history and his experiences growing up with an autistic brother, it fosters a greater sense of understanding and empathy between them. It also highlights the importance of accepting and embracing one another's differences and challenges in the context of their evolving relationship. In summary, Chapter 9 in the Rosie Project is a pivotal chapter that provides crucial insights into Don's character, his family background, and the genetic aspects of autism. It plays a significant role in developing the characters and their relationships in the novel. In Chapter 10 is a pivotal moment in the book, where the relationship between Don Tillman and Rosie experiences a significant turning point. In this chapter, a series of events takes place, and it is sometimes referred to as the cocktail bar incident. Don and Rosie decide to meet at a cocktail bar for a social outing. Don, who is typically very rigid and structured in his routines, has made an effort to go to a place where social norms and behaviors are less predictable and controlled. This is a big step for him as he's trying to break free from his own comfort zone. At the cocktail bar, the atmosphere is different from what Don is used to, and he struggles with the chaos and unpredictability. Rosie, who is unaware of Don's struggles with social interactions, interprets his discomfort as disinterest in her and the date. This misunderstanding leads to growing tension between them. Rosie becomes frustrated and upset with Don's behavior, as she perceives it as rejection. This emotional reaction reveals her own vulnerability and attachment to Don, which she had been trying to keep under control. Don, on the other hand, is grappling with his feelings for Rosie, and the chaos of the cocktail bar exacerbates his discomfort. He's still trying to understand and express his emotions, which is a significant challenge for him. This chapter marks a turning point in their relationship. It's a moment of intense emotion and vulnerability for both Don and Rosie. It becomes clear to them and the readers that there are strong, genuine feelings between them, but they are struggling to communicate and understand one another. Chapter 10 sets the stage for the subsequent developments in the story, as Don and Rosie must confront their emotions, work through their misunderstandings, and decide how they want to move forward in their relationship. It's a crucial moment in the novel because it pushes the characters to confront their own limitations and challenges in love and communication. In Chapter 11, the author delves into Don Tillman's personal background and history, providing valuable insights into his character and the reasons behind his socially awkward and highly organized nature. This chapter is crucial in understanding Don's motivations and why he approaches life with such a logical and systematic mindset. In this chapter, Don's past is revealed, particularly his experiences growing up and the challenges he faced. Readers learn that Don's childhood was marked by his differences and difficulties in fitting in with his peers due to his unique personality and tendencies. These experiences, along with his father's early death and his mother's struggle to raise him, have contributed to shaping Don's character and behavior. Furthermore, Chapter 11 explores Don's struggles with relationships, particularly romantic ones. It becomes evident that his difficulties in forming connections and understanding social cues are deeply rooted in his past experiences and family dynamics. This chapter provides a deeper layer of understanding to Don's character and adds emotional depth to the story. It helps readers empathize with his challenges and appreciate his growth throughout the novel as he navigates the complexities of love and relationships, particularly with Rosie. Overall, Chapter 11 is a pivotal point in the book that offers readers a more profound insight into Don Tillman's character and his journey towards self-discovery and personal growth. In Chapter 12 is a pivotal point in the story. In this chapter, Rosie decides to leave New York to pursue her dream, which has a profound impact on the relationship between Rosie and Don, the main characters. In this chapter, Rosie's decision to leave New York is a turning point in the story. Up to this point, Don and Rosie have been through various ups and downs in their relationship. They have developed a strong bond and a deep connection, and it becomes evident that there are romantic feelings between them. However, Rosie's dream of finding her biological father and the circumstances surrounding it are pulling her away from New York. Rosie's departure from the city is a source of heartbreak for Don, who has come to care deeply for her. The chapter explores Don's emotional turmoil as he grapples with the realization that Rosie is leaving and that their time together in New York may be coming to an end. Don's character development and personal growth become more pronounced as he confronts his own emotions and vulnerabilities, which have been a central theme throughout the book. Chapter 12 is a significant moment in the Rosie project because it highlights the complexities of human emotions, particularly for a character like Don, who initially approaches relationships with a highly logical and systematic mindset. It sets the stage for the subsequent events in the story as Don decides to take action to find Rosie and make amends, ultimately leading to the resolution of their relationship. Overall, Chapter 12 serves as a crucial turning point in the narrative, where the characters confront their feelings and priorities, setting the stage for the climax and conclusion of the novel. In Chapter 13 is a pivotal chapter in the novel that explores a significant turning point in the relationship between the two main characters, Don Tillman and Rosie. Here's a brief explanation of the key events in this chapter. In this chapter, Rosie decides to leave New York to pursue her lifelong dream of going to graduate school at Columbia University. This decision comes as a shock to Don, as he has developed deep feelings for Rosie, and their relationship has become increasingly important to him. Don is heartbroken and devastated by Rosie's decision to leave, as he has been on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth through his interactions with her. He realizes that he has fallen in love with Rosie, although he may not fully understand or acknowledge his feelings in those terms due to his unique personality and social challenges. The chapter highlights the complexity of human emotions and relationships, especially for someone like Don, who has struggled with understanding and expressing his feelings. It also marks a moment of vulnerability for Don, as he must confront the idea of losing someone he cares about deeply. Chapter 13 sets the stage for the final act of the novel, where Don embarks on a journey to find Rosie and make amends, which leads to a series of comedic and heartfelt events. It underscores the idea that love and relationships can be messy and complicated but are also essential aspects of our lives. This chapter is a crucial moment in the story, as it drives the narrative toward its conclusion and allows Don to confront his own emotional growth and understanding of love. In Chapter 14 is a pivotal and emotionally charged chapter in the book. In this chapter, the story takes a significant turn as Dawn embarks on a journey to find Rosie after she has left New York to pursue her dream. Rosie's departure. In the previous chapters, Rosie decided to leave New York to follow her dream, which left Dawn heartbroken and feeling a deep sense of loss. This departure was the result of their strained relationship and a series of misunderstandings. Dawn's realization. Don comes to a profound realization about his feelings for Rosie. He recognizes the depth of his emotions and understands that he can't let her go without trying to make amends and express his true feelings. The journey. Don embarks on a journey to track down Rosie, who is traveling to her new destination. He is determined to find her, explain his feelings, and make things right between them. This journey is a significant departure from Don's usual routine and highlights the extraordinary lengths he is willing to go for Rosie. Comic and heartfelt moments. Along the way, Don encounters a series of comedic and heartfelt moments as he navigates the challenges of travel, communication, and social interactions. These moments provide a mix of humor and emotional depth, which are characteristic of the novel. Reunion. The chapter culminates with Don eventually reuniting with Rosie, where he has the opportunity to express his feelings and make amends. Their meeting is a significant turning point in their relationship, and it sets the stage for the conclusion of the story. Chapter 14 is a critical chapter because it marks the beginning of Don's journey to confront his own emotions and his willingness to go to great lengths to pursue the person he cares deeply about. It also represents a moment of growth and self-discovery for Don as he starts to understand the complexities of human relationships beyond the confines of his scientific approach to life. This chapter contributes to the overall development of the characters and their relationship, making the Rosie Project a heartwarming and compelling story of love and personal transformation. In Chapter 15, the story nears its conclusion as Don Tillman re-evaluates his approach to relationships and love. Don has been through a series of ups and downs in his quest to find a life partner, particularly with Rosie, who has been a central figure in his life. Don, a brilliant but socially awkward genetics professor, has always relied on his logical and systematic methods to solve problems and make important life decisions. However, throughout the novel, he has come to realize that love and relationships are not easily quantifiable or predictable, and that his earlier wife project questionnaire, which aimed to find the perfect partner, has its limitations. Don revisits the Wife Project questionnaire, which he had created earlier in the story, and he starts to see its flaws. He understands that love and compatibility are not as simple as a checklist of traits and attributes. He reflects on the personal growth and emotional development he has experienced throughout the novel, largely due to his interactions with Rosie. This chapter serves as a turning point for Don's character. He begins to acknowledge the importance of emotional connection and the unpredictability of love. It marks a significant shift in his perspective, as he moves away from his rigid scientific approach and starts to embrace the complexities and nuances of human relationships. Chapter 15 ultimately sets the stage for the conclusion of the story, where Don and Rosie's relationship and Don's personal growth come to a heartwarming and satisfying resolution during their wedding, showing that sometimes love cannot be neatly categorized or standardized, but is a beautiful and unique journey for each individual. In Chapter 16 of The Rosie Project by Graeme Simsion is the concluding chapter of the novel and provides a heartwarming resolution to the story. In this chapter, Don Tillman and Rosie have reached a significant milestone in their relationship, their wedding day. The chapter starts with Don preparing to give the best man speech at his own wedding. This is a moment of high emotional significance for Don because, throughout the novel, he has struggled with understanding and expressing emotions in a typical way. His speech is expected to be unorthodox and unique, just like Don himself. As Don stands before the wedding guests, he reflects on his personal growth throughout the novel. He has come a long way from the rigid, structured, and socially awkward individual he used to be. He has learned to embrace change, emotions, and unpredictability in his life, largely thanks to his relationship with Rosie. The wedding serves as a celebration of the love and connection that Don and Rosie have developed over the course of the story. It's a testament to the idea that sometimes, love can be found in the most unexpected places and with the most unexpected people. Chapter 16 marks the culmination of Don and Rosie's journey, highlighting how they have evolved as individuals and as a couple. Their unique connection and the way they complement each other in their differences are beautifully showcased in this chapter. The wedding ceremony and Don's best man speech symbolize the resolution of the central conflicts in the novel. Don has overcome many of his personal challenges and has grown as a person, while Rosie has found a supportive and loving partner in Don. The chapter provides a heartwarming and satisfying ending to their story. Chapter 16 is a poignant and uplifting conclusion to the Rosie project. It encapsulates the themes of personal growth, love, and the acceptance of one's quirks and those of others, making it a fitting ending to a novel that explores the complexities of relationships and human connection. Thanks for joining us on this literary journey today. If you enjoyed this book summary, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with fellow book lovers. For more quick dives into the world of literature, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell, so you never miss another chapter. Also, in the video description below, you'll find a link where you can listen to the full book for free. So, if you're eager to explore the entire story, be sure to check that out. Until next time, happy reading!